maybe. I don't know. We'll get into it. I have to look up what this kid's name is.
No, dude, I know who you're talking about. I cannot put a
He
name
was
to the
in like
face.
love movies. Like I think he was in a movie about like working at Target or something with I don't know.
Nope, we're not going to
No,
leave that hanging. We're not going to leave this hanging.
I'm figuring it out. Damn, JT Walsh is in this too? I forgot, dude. JT Walsh was getting straight paid. And I
Yes.
have a really funny thing about Hoffa I just think is great. Uh, I think it's this guy. What's this guy's name? Nope. I wish I could think of the kid's name, Steve, but he's been in a lot. And we'll figure it out.
Got to.
It has to be fucking. Hoffa. I'm just gonna look it up on IMDb. It's the only way I can find this shit out. And I didn't know Hoffa was made by fucking Danny DeVito, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah, that might be his only directing credit.
No, I think he did Death to Smoochie too, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, yeah. His name's Frank Whaley.
Frank freaking Whaley. Where do I know him?
Yeah, we just got to figure out who Frank goddamn Whaley is. All right, let's get this.
JFK. He was in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, he was Brad. Big brain on Brad. He's
Brett.
been mad shit.
Brett.
Yeah.
IQ. He was in the movie we're going to talk about today. Another one.
I knew. I was going to say he was in something else that we watched. Yeah, dude. I mean, this guy's just been all over the place. So glad that we looked it up.
Frank fucking Whaley. It took too long for us to find it. Thank you, Frank Whaley.
Yeah, dude. In School of Rock, also love that.
But like you were saying, though, Frank Whaley, Tony Shalhoub, Meg Ryan.
I mean, I know he was successful before this, like decade, but Walter Matthau in the 90s getting legit just the whole truck backed up to his house with all the money. He said everything.
It's Christmas time. We need some Walter Matthau, some Meg Ryan, some Shalhoub to boot.
Yeah, give me some Shalhoub, dude. I didn't realize how big of a fan I was of Tony Shalhoub, to be honest with you.
Same. I never watched Monk, not one episode, not even a clip of an episode. But damn, Tony Shalhoub's, though. He did his thing in the 90s.
All over the place, TV and movies. So, I mean, that was hard to do back then. People forget that. It's not like it is now where it's like, oh, I'm a movie star. I'll just do some TV too because it's just as good. It was like a downgrade. There was very few people that could do that. Shalhoub, dude.
Did you realize that throughout all the movies that came out on Christmas, none of them have absolutely anything to do with Christmas?
Absolutely not. I feel like they release the movies about Christmas before Christmas, and the movies that come out on Christmas are just like big ones that people want to go see. But you're right. There's no Santa Claus in any of this, Steve.
At least the ones in the 90s. Maybe they've made some since then, but in the 90s, movies on Christmas didn't give you movies that were about Christmas.
Yeah, just some iced tea.
Couple ices. Yay.
Yeah, dude, it's strange. You would think there'd be a few. But I guess the kids are all playing with their new toys and the adults are the ones who want to go see a movie back in the day. So we could have seen 10-year-old us, Steve, we had a pretty good year when we were 10 years old. And I don't know, there's a few good years in the 90s, but just 93 in general.
93.
That was a good one.
I mean, we could see Walter and Jack be cantankerous with each other. We could have saw the Phantasm, the poster behind me.
Yep.
Oh man, we could have saw Kurt Russell get down and dirty on the west side, the Wild West.
Oh, dude. I mean, I can't wait to talk about that. There's so much to talk about, Steve.
Well,
Merry Christmas.
We need to get into it then. Well, this is Steve G and Mad G with Happened in the 90s, a show where we talk about what happened in the 90s. So get out your Berry kicks and your Barry Sanders kicks, because when you absolutely positively got to kill every mother in the room, except no substitutes. Well, today, my friend, we're talking all things December 25th in the 90s. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and I'll be a huckleberry. Starting off in 1991, Grand Canyon premieres. The fates of several people are randomly intertwining. Their sympathy of each other faces multiple differences in their lifestyles. Directed by Lawrence Kasdan, starring Danny Glover, Kevin Kline, Steve Martin, Mary McDonnell, Mary Louise Parker, and Alfre Woodard.
I enjoyed the movie, Steve. And I have two things that I just want to point out about this one. One, strange that the guy who directed Empire Strikes Back, the Star Wars movie, quite honestly, one of the movies people love the most in that franchise. The guy, Lawrence Kasdan, directed that. And then he directed something like this. You know, Luke gets his hand cut off by Darth Vader in the 80s. 91 rolls around, or 91. He just makes this strange people story. It's really heartwarming. And then the other thing I like about this movie, we get a 90s Danny Glover that just warms my heart, Steve.
Yeah. Little 90s Danny. Yeah, it can't go wrong, man. And I mean, it's like told in a Pulp Fiction style.
Yeah, I there's something about like these, like almost like vignette movies where it's maybe it is like the result of like a Tarantino thing, although this is kind of before that. But yeah, man, Grand Canyon, never heard of it. Not a huge Kevin Kline fan. But like I said, we get that really sweet, just lovable Danny Glover, like what I like to call Angels in the Outfield Danny Glover, where he's just teaching you lessons, Steve. Like when you're sitting on the edge of that Grand Canyon, you just realize just how stupid, humans are, man. How insignificant we are, bro.
Yeah, just to talk with Uncle Danny, because he's not too old for that shit. But in the following year, in 1992, Chaplin premieres. An elderly Charlie Chaplin discusses his autobiography with his editor, recounting his amazing journey from his poverty-stricken childhood to worldwide success after the ingenious invention of the Little Tramp. Directed by Richard Attenborough, starring Robert Downey Jr., Dan Aykroyd, Geraldine Chaplin, Kevin Dunn, Anthony Hopkins, Mila Jovovich, Moira Kelly, Kevin Kline, Diane Lane, Penelope Ann Miller, Paul Reese, John Thal, Marissa Tomei, and James Wood.
They tried, Steve. They wanted you to love this movie. I from what I read, it wasn't very popular, and from what I watched, wasn't a fan. I don't like movies set in this time period. I don't like Charlie Chaplin, but I find it funny that those movies had such a intense story behind them. It's interesting, but I didn't dig this movie very much.
You sound like a Gen Zer, Matt. If it was before me, I don't care for it. It sucked. If it happened in my grandparents' time, it was blue.
Yep. You're right, Steve. I do sound like that. And you know it. Robert Downey Jr. throwing some potatoes on forks and dancing them around and shit. Steve, you didn't like this movie. I don't want to hear it.
I appreciated the movie because, hey, man, Kevin Kline, he's growing on me. Pause. We just talked about him in Grand Canyon, but, it's kind of like who's the guy that you didn't care for? Tim Robbins. Yeah. It's kind of like that with me and Kevin Kline. And the more we do this show, he's not as corny. But, dude, I appreciate it because it's a history lesson in comedy. All the guys that we do care for and like, the Steve Martins, the Martin Shorts, the Jim Carreys. Those guys are part of the Charlie Chaplin branch. You know, before I said it was maybe Jerry Lewis who's the godfather. Now we can go further back and say it was Charlie Chaplin. You know, maybe to us the stuff seems tame comedy wise. This doesn't. I don't get how this was a big deal. But you have to kind of set yourself in that time frame and be like, okay, if it wasn't for this guy, maybe we wouldn't have had Jerry Lewis, and who we probably wouldn't give us Robin Williams or Steve Martin. All those guys were inspired and influenced by each other, man. I feel that's just from an outsider's perspective.
I will say this, and you're right. I mean, it all those like roots do lead back in some way to like Charlie Chaplin, those people that were doing this stuff in like the 20s and everything. But what I would say that I did enjoy about this movie is seeing how they pulled off, because you kind of get to see, like, watch them make those movies. Because I mean, he was making the movies,
right?
And to see it, like the actual physically how they filmed all that stuff to, you know, to make what we know as those movies is super interesting to me. Like having something that's like spinning and you're just kind of like running in place and stuff. And I guess so the behind the scenes part of it I enjoyed. But yeah, I don't know, man. This is just like a time period that really interests me too much. But I mean, Robert Downey Jr. did his thing. I mean, but he didn't. This didn't pop him off in the way you'd think. Maybe it's because of all those issues he had, but
yeah, he got nominated for this role, man. And then I also thought it was cool that Geraldine Chaplin, his actual daughter, was in the movie. So when Robert Downey Jr. shows up in his whole spiel, his whole get up, she was just like, wow, oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, that must have been a trip.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what really the gift of this movie is like all the behind the scenes stuff and like the effort that went into all these, like, really, I mean, Anthony Hopkins is in this movie, Steve. You know, there's a lot of stars in this. So like, yeah. But for me, snooze fest. Merry Christmas, guys.
And on that same day in 92, Hoffa premieres. The story of the notorious American labor union figure Jimmy Hoffa, who organizes a bitter strike, makes deals with members of the organized crime syndicate, and mysteriously disappears in 1975. Directed by Danny DeVito, starring Jack Nicholson and Danny DeVito, Armand Assante, J.T. Walsh, and Robert Prosky. J.T. Walsh again.
J.T. Walsh, dude. Also, just Danny DeVito, living legend, bro. All that talent in such a small package. I love that. I love seeing DeVito and Jack Nicholson in a movie together again. Obviously, they were in and Jack Nicholson in this almost, you know, he's Jack Nicholson. He eats up the scenery. But they made him look like Hoffa, and I feel like he kind of disappears into this role more than he does in like other movies, like Jack Nicholson movies. Yeah. So I love that. But man, the ending of this, because I mean, we don't know how he died, right? Like, this is one of those movies that's hard to like make an ending to. Yeah. But I love how unceremonious this movie ends, you know?
I was not expecting that. I mean, obviously, we know how Jimmy Hoffa's story ended. Kind of, sort of, but the way they ended this movie, to me, it was a swerve, man. And maybe I just came into this super naive, but this was the same deal as Chaplin, because Jimmy Hoffa Jr. he hopped up on set just to, you know, pay a visit, and when he saw Jack Nicholson, he came to tears.
Well, and like Danny DeVito, something I read about this movie, because, like, you know, Hoffa is not exactly like a good guy or whatever. He doesn't like, right. He's not a very popular person if you ask a lot of people. But Danny DeVito was like, dude, this guy's like a hero of mine. So I think Danny DeVito ate a lot of shit for like admitting to that, and sort of like just, he didn't like try to eulogize the guy and make him into something better than he was. He just kind of like showed Jimmy Hoffa, you know, like it wasn't like a movie where they were trying to make you feel any sort of like way about him. I guess it's kind of inspiring, but I don't know, man. I think it was like a crazy risk for Danny DeVito to make this and be in it, and Jack Nicholson, honestly, to also be in it. So it shows like maybe they trusted each other, but man, I dug it. And shocker of an ending, man. Shout out to Frank Whaley, the kid. just getting out there and tooling up on Hoffa, dude. And then it's like a magic trick almost.
They will never make me hate you, Daniel Michael DeVito Jr.
It's impossible, dude.
On that same day in 92, Trespass premieres. 2 firemen in a burning building get a treasure map. Stolen gold church items are hidden in a closed-down factory in St. Louis. Once there, they're trapped in by a black gang considering in their territory. This is our territory.
Yo, man, what are you white boys even doing in this place?
Tiny listers, too.
Tiny cleats, dude. He's just walking around in baseball cleats the whole time. Love that. And the guy on the left with the Michael Jackson jacket and the just straight luscious hairdo, he's one of my favorites as well. But
Stoney Jackson,
Mr. Sexy over there. I mean, he's getting ready to go to a Janet Jackson video. Once this but man, Steve, I'd never seen this.
Control.
God damn. And I love it. This is a great. It doesn't go anywhere. Like it's a one location basically movie. We got Billy Paxton. We got both ices, cube and tea, the whole beverage, and we get a guy, William Sadler, who was in a movie I keep trying to get people to watch. Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight. He was also in a lot of movies. Shawshank Redemption is one I can remember off the top of my head.
Die Hard 2.
The guy's a legend. Yeah. And this movie's great, Steve. Great action, great ice cubing, great ice teaing. I love it all. And I love this is a character in 90s action movies, usually like street movies, like, you know, where there's some guy in the hood who just has every gun imaginable. It could just show up. He's got it all displayed correctly. And in this case, he's dressed like a pimp, Steve.
Yeah. And that guy, he's been in a lot of stuff. I feel like he was in Naked Gun. He was like Hot Shots. He was like one of the sergeants in Hot Shots. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I always thought he looked like my buddy Todd. I swear.
Oh, man. But great movie. Man, if you like young Ice Cube, this is perfect. What's his name in this? Savon. Yeah, dude. You were aware of this, right? Like you'd seen this before. Okay.
Yeah, it was a part of that HBO. They were promoted on HBO when HBO, one of those times when we got it for free. And I was like, man, this guy Cube and Ice-T. But dude, it also has Art Evans. Speaking of Die Hard 2, the little squiggly voice black dude, because he's the guy that takes off with the goods at the end. I can't even do his voice proper. But
also speaking of Die Hard, isn't the junkie guy Lucky? Isn't he the limo driver in Die Hard?
Man, I can't call that.
I think it is, bro. Devereaux White. Yeah, it is, dude. He is in Die Hard. He's the Argyle, the limo driver. So a lot of big names in this. And I just love it. It's a simple story. Starts right away. Bill Paxton and William Sadler are firefighters, and it's like a treasure hunt. It's almost like it's like Goonies in the hood with adults.
There you go.
There you go.
Gangster Goonies.
Hell yeah.
Good. That following year, 1993, Batman, Mask of the Phantasm premieres. Batman is wrongly implicated in a series of murders of mob bosses actually committed by a new vigilante assassin, directed by Eric Radomski and Bruce Timm, starring Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill, Dana Delaney, Hart Bachner, and Abe Vigoda. Abe Vigoda?
Yeah, dude. Man, what were you, like 150 when this movie came out? Man, one thing I always like to say about the animated series, and I've been thinking it more because you always have people ask you, what's your favorite Batman? And usually my hip answer is Michael Keaton. But I think my favorite Batman is Kevin Conroy, dude. He's just like, I know he's an animated Batman, but his voice and this specific style of Batman probably is the best iteration and most like pure version of it. And you get Mark Hamill, Steve.
Well, on the animation side of the game, it's definitely on. It's got it on lock, man. And I mean, it is the Michael Jordan of animated Batman. So all the future renditions, man, like you can try, but you're not going to come close.
And this is a good one. I mean, we get a full movie on it. It's a little more intense than the show. Phantasm as a villain. I mean, look at him behind Steve. It looks cool as hell, you know?
Dr. Doomish.
Yeah, very much so. Dr. Doom, a little bit of He-Man, Skeletor.
Skeletor.
Yeah, a little bit of vibes on that. But yeah, man, dug it. It doesn't get as many props as just the cartoon in general. I don't know why this movie doesn't get like held up a little bit more, but you know, for an animated movie, especially in the 90s, you were going up against Disney and stuff, non-Disney stuff. This is pretty good, man. This is almost as good as it gets.
And on that same man, okay, I see you future what do you call it?
Little segue, a mistimed segue, Steve.
Damn it, I can't. Words are hard sometimes. But on that same day in 1993, Grumpy Old Men premieres. I did another one of those, directed by Donald Petrie, starring Jack Lemmon, Walter Matthau, Anne Margaret, Kevin Pollak, Ozzie Davis, and Daryl Hannah.
As far as movies, this one, I don't know, for whatever reason, just like it's very special to me. All my family loved it. I feel like everyone loved this movie. I don't know anybody that didn't like Grumpy Old Men. And shout out to what is the old man's name, Steve? Who's the Penguin?
Burgess Meredith from Cleveland, Ohio.
Let me show you how to hide the cannelloni. I love Burgess Meredith as just the dirtiest of old men, Steve. So, yeah. Grumpy Old Men. It's spy versus spy with old men. It's perfect. It's got Matthau
and Jack Lemmon. Like, you know, before we had Martin Short and Steve Martin, like they were the guys. You know,
and Margaret. These people were probably all hanging out 30 years before on top of Hollywood. And now they're still on top of Hollywood, Steven. To be honest with you, Anne Margaret in this movie, she could have gotten
it. Definitely. And I feel like this was a surprise hit. The way people were coming out in droves to watch this movie. I don't know if this was expected, man, because it warranted a sequel, and that did numbers.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's filled with stars, and it was for everybody, man. My parents loved it because they knew these people and they enjoyed the jokes as much as anybody. And us kids who didn't really know exactly who Walter Matthau was or who these people were, it's just a fun movie. They're playing pranks on each other. They're fucking each other up. You know, they're still best friends. There's something for everybody in this, and I love it.
When I had an ulcer, I was shitting razor blades. It's about as good
Kevin Pollak and Daryl Hammond, dude, like them, like kind of being in love and friends and stuff. It's all good. There's nothing bad about this movie. So I'm going on. It's a perfect movie, Steve.
And add Christopher McDonald to boot. Shoot up. Then on that same day in 93, Tombstone premieres. A successful lawman's plan to retire anonymously in Tombstone, Arizona, are disrupted by the kind of outlaws he was famous for eliminating. Directed by George P. Cosmatos, starring Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer, Michael Bain, Powers Booth, Dana Delaney, Sam Elliott, Stephen Lang, Joanna Pacula, Bill Paxton, Jason Priestley, Michael Rooker, Billy Zane, and Charlton Heston. Damn.
Every man in Hollywood was in this movie, Steve. This is a testosterone. This is for the boys, Steve. This got me fired up as a kid, and I hate Westerns. This made me love Westerns. It's maybe for me, my favorite Val Kilmer performance, period.
Really?
Such a pimp. It's also my favorite Michael Biehn performance. Him as Johnny Ringo, definitely the most badass cowboys I've ever seen in a movie. Love him in that. And yeah, dude, it's a powerhouse. And I think now as an adult, I loved it as a kid. I can still watch this movie. It's got style. I love it. It's crazy when you find out how many problems they had making the movie. It was a disaster. I think the director was a lunatic. So basically, Kurt Russell directed this movie without getting credit for it and was like integral to this movie getting finished. Like he would do rewrites and they would just like, they made the movie in spite of the director, it sounded like.
Yeah. And I mean, this didn't turn me on to Westerns. It just turned me on to this one.
Yeah, but this is my favorite. Honestly, dude, this is my favorite Western, and like everybody in it kills it. Everybody in it plays a character who's super cool. Even the ones who kind of get bitched at, like oh, we've been talking about them all for recently. Rednecky dude,
JT Walsh.
No, fuck, man, I hate that I can't remember names. But just any, like even the big characters in this movie. They get their time and they're played by good actors and everybody just nails it, dude. But to me, the conflict, and they're not even the main characters, between Val Kilmer's Doc Holliday and Michael Bihn's Johnny Ringo, it's like Magneto and Professor X. It's one of like the best verses.
Counterpart. Yeah. What are you talking about? Sam Elliott?
No, I'll find it. But also shout out to Billy Zane, who's in this as like a foppish actor, and I always thought that was funny as hell. Billy Bob Thornton is who I'm thinking of.
Oh, I was going to say that, but yeah.
Smoke that skin wagon and see what happens.
Yeah,
there's so many good lines, Steve. The guy, the little like the guy who's constantly getting bitched out, that's in the like the Cowboys. And he's like, I'll cut your goddamn pimp's heart out. And he bitch slaps the bartender in the bar in one scene. I forget his name, but that guy is my one, Ike Clanton. That Ike. He's constantly being bitched out. And he's a very good example. I don't know who the fuck Stephen Lang is who played him, but everyone nailed these characters, dude. The only thing I don't like in this movie is the love story, which I feel like is unnecessary. But I guess it's Hollywood. You have to throw some of that in. But
yeah, you talking about the bitch that was strung out on opium?
Well, both of it, because he had his wife who was strung out on opium, and then like the actress who he was like in love with, who he eventually like goes away with and runs off into the sunset with. I just felt it was kind of unnecessary, but yeah, man. Tombstone, I'd put it up there. There's only a couple that I like as near as much as this, but this is it, Steve. I defy you to find a better Western than this.
And that following year, 1994, IQ premieres. A mechanic romances the mathematician niece of physicist Albert Einstein with help from him and his friends. Directed by Fred Schapisi, starring Tim Robbins, Meg Ryan, Walter Matthau, and Charles Durning. Here comes love interest.
You want to stoop my niece?
At first, I was like, man, why did Matt leave this shit on the list? And then I watched it. It's like, man, you know what? It's actually, you know,
it's a fun love movie, dude. I also just love seeing Albert Einstein just having fun, man. Riding motorcycles with Tim Robbins. You know, it's goofy.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it, man. I remember this one. This is something I'm pretty sure my parents like just rented and I watched with them. But I remember walking away just not being mad at it. And when I watched it again, it's a Matthau joint, Steve.
Another Matthau joint. The man's got like 3 in Christmas in the 90s, man. Like
he must have been buying a lot of presents, so he just had to, you know, every year he's just like, I'm fucking making another one of these pieces.
Yeah, man, I love it. He's the cheat code on Christmas. But on that same day in 1994, The Jungle Book premieres. Rudyard Kipling's classic tale of Mowgli, the orphan jungle boy raised by wild animals, and how he becomes king of the jungle. Directed by Stephen Sommers, starring Jason Scott Lee, Carrie Ilwes, Lena Headey, Sam Neill, and John Cleese.
You know, Steve, I thought Jason Scott Lee was another child of Bruce Lee.
He looks the part.
I mean, he played him. I mean, I apparently reading about this movie, he also is a master of Jeet Kune Do, which when he played Bruce Lee, he had to learn. So I found that kind of fascinating. But you know, I'm a fan of the Disney cartoon. I don't like the live action ones. They've tried to do live action a bunch of times with Jungle Book. I find it kind of terrifying, to be honest with you, all these like live animal looking things. But, you know, it's the Jungle Book. The story's good. If you into it, I'm sure you'd like this, but it wasn't. I just don't like the live action, man. I like the art of an animated movie.
Yeah, I need my animals talking in Jungle Book. That's one of my biggest gripes of this one. Like even in the most modern one, I think 2016 or 15, at least the animals were talking.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. It's almost like terrifying. Like I'm terrified of big cats, Steve. So this is a struggle for me anyway. But you know, it is what it is. It's one of those things where it almost just seems like, why'd you have to make this when the animated one's almost like perfect and what everyone loves? But you know, I guess every couple of decades you just gotta give it a shot. Put the dust off of it.
This was actually Disney's first live action remake.
I wonder, like, because it wasn't that successful. So I wonder what this thing is where they think like it's a good idea to keep trying to do this, because I feel like it never really works. You know, yeah. I find that like every one of the ones that I've tried to give a shot that Disney's done recently, it's just not as good as the animated one, which is like universally loved and thought of as like these pieces of cinema. It's like, what are you trying to put yourself out here like this for? But
yeah, you're right.
Shout out to Jason Scott Lee though, dude. Like that guy is, he looks the part. He's great in this movie. He's really, you know, I feel like all the actors are great, but it just doesn't make sense that they're doing this live. I don't know.
Well, there was a point where I thought Jason Scott Lee was going to be the next, I don't know, action. He was going to be on par with Bruce and Sly and those guys, because he, like you said, he looked the part and he could actually beat your ass on some Michael Jai White shit. So. Yeah. Like, I don't know if this was something on his part. He was just like, yeah, I'm kind of cool on acting, or what happened. Like, I just expected to see the guy in more movies.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. I did. That is crazy. I didn't even like think of that, because he really, after like what we've talked about and mentioned in this, like there was nothing. Like I haven't looked at the guy's catalog of films, but that is wild, because he literally is like the second coming of Bruce Lee.
Yeah, like, dude, I don't know what happened, man. Maybe he just decided to leave the Hollywood game alone. But that following year, 1995, 4 Rooms premieres, 4 interlocking tales that take place in a fading hotel on New Year's Eve, directed by Allison Anders, Alexander Rockwell, Robert Rodriguez, and Quentin Tarantino, starring Tim Roth, Antonio Banderas, Jennifer Beals, Paul Calderone, Sammy Davis, Valerina Golino, Madonna, David Proval, Iona Sky, Lily Taylor, and Marissa Tomei. Again with Marissa Tomei. Yeah. I ain't mad at it.
Tomei. I came into this movie because I was a fan of 2 directors, Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino. And when I found out they were involved in this, I was like, oh, I found this like great surprise, like nobody knows about. But I don't really think this movie is that good, Steve. I find that the ones that aren't directed by Tarantino or Robert Rodriguez, I don't enjoy that much. And even the one, like, the only one I really like is the Tarantino one. I think it's just because it's wacky as hell. You know what I mean?
And that's the one with Bruce Willis, right?
That's the one where they're cutting off fingers and stuff. They're like doing the bet.
Very Tarantino. And Robert Rodriguez, his was the one with the little kid smoking the cigarette and
doing
all that.
I think, yeah.
But dude, the first one though with Madonna, they showing tit and nibbles, baby.
I mean, for sure. I mean, there's that.
So they, even though it's not one of, like, narrative wise, it might not have been the best, but man, at least they gave you something.
And there is something about this, and maybe it is a Tarantino effect, but there's a lot of these movies in the 90s that are like vignettes, where it's not like a cohesive, like one story, one group of actors. It's like collections of these smaller stories that they put into a movie. It's like it's like a collection almost. It's
a collection of vignettes
together with, like, in this case, Tim Roth, who I love in the movie. Tim Roth is fantastic in the movie.
Yeah, got to give them props for that, because initially they were going to pick Steve Buscemi, and as much as I love Steve Buscemi, I don't know if he could be the glue that Tim Roth was. He was the connection throughout all these different narratives, man, and he pulled it off well.
Yeah, he's like a bellhop who's just basically in over his head. Like, he's us coming into all these situations that are just kind of weird. But if you're into cinema, if you like, especially if you have like a connection to somebody like the actor or director in it, I just think it's a cool thing to be able to like not have a movie completely directed by one people and see like how these different things line up. I do like that, but I don't know. I was just always kind of disappointed because when you hear those names, you get really excited, and I don't think it lives necessarily up to the hype.
Man. But you want to know who probably didn't watch this in 1995, though, Matthew? Probably American singer and actor Dean Martin, and That's Not Amore.
That's somebody. Dean Martin. People love this dude. Did you like? What do you think of the Rat Pack, Steve? What do you think of that?
I mean, they were. I feel the first of that. You have other famous collectives that are kind of like the clique of Hollywood. You have the Get Pussy crew. You have that whole John Hughes collective, the Brat Pack. So I feel like these guys, they were the original Generation X, the original NWO.
I love that. That's a shirt, Steve. The Rat Pack with NWO sprayed all over it. Hell yeah.
New world order. But yeah, they kind of set the blueprint, man. We're a band of brothers. We're good friends, and we're gonna do some work together. We're gonna do some music. We're gonna make some noise, man. You know, let's. So what did Raekwon say in Cream? So I got with a sick ass click and went all out. That's how I feel about the Rat Pack, man. Shout out to all them. It's some players, man. Dean, Frank, Sammy. Come on,
that is
man.
The original Get Pussy crew, Steve. I think you nailed it.
I'm trying to tell you, man. Born and raised in Steubenville, Ohio. Go Ohio. Dean Martin, man. You make us proud.
Dino.
Man. In that following year, 1996, I'm Not Rappaport premieres. Two old men, a white former radical, and a black retired janitor strike up an unusual and funny friendship on a park bench in New York, where they deal with family, drug dealers, and the pitfalls of age. Directed by Herb Gardner, starring Walter Matthau, Ozzie Davis, Amy Irving, Craig T. Nelson, Martha Plimpton, and Boyd Gaines.
Banger, Steve. I don't know if, he wasn't missing, man. Matthau? This guy's a sniper shot of an actor.
Hitting it on Christmas. And Ozzie Davis, again, this is another one of his. He was in Grumpy Old Men. And Craig T. Nelson plays a drug dealer. That alone. Oh, Coach, pushing that powder? What?
Pushing rhymes like way. I mean, yeah, dude. Also from Half Baked, Guillermo Diaz is in this.
Yeah.
Fuck you. You're cool. I didn't expect to like this movie, but I love this movie, and I want to be Walter Matthau's character in this movie when I'm old. A guy who's cool with lying, you know, a little bit just for the greater good. And this is what I want to be, Steve. This is what I'm aspiring to be as an old man.
Oh, I'll be Ozzie Davis, just not as cantankerous. But I think that there's some charm in having movies starring old men. And for me watching this, man, Ozzie Davis character, he kind of reminded me of my great grandpa. So it was, it was very endearing, man.
I wish I had a grandpa like this. My grandparents were not as fun as these people. I know Ozzie Davis is a little cantankerous, but man, I didn't remember this movie. I honestly thought it was about. I just think Michael Rappaport when I see Rappaport. So definitely not that vibe. But yeah, dude, this is one I was really into, and I was very surprised by.
And on that same day in 1996, the body of American child beauty queen JonBenet Ramsey was found in her family's Boulder, Colorado home. Her murder remains unsolved. Her brother did it. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I think that everybody's figured it out before the cops did. I forgot this happened on Christmas. That's insane.
Yeah.
Crazy tragedy, weird situation. I loved how South Park handled it because for a while we thought the parents did.
Right.
I think that was the consensus. And who knows, man? It's strange. I feel like there's a lot of people involved that there's a lot of people involved that might not have done it but still are like hiding something. But yeah, what a crazy thing. Not a very Merry Christmas at the Ramsey household.
Yeah, man. But thank God for Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
Liar!
Yeah. I love y'all, man.
Killer!
And that
Liar!
Oh God, I love those dudes. Oh my God, I almost had a migraine. But that following year, 1997, an American Werewolf in Paris premieres. An American man unwittingly. Oh my God, man. All right. An American man unwittingly gets involved with French werewolves who have developed a serum allowing them to transform at will. Directed by Anthony Waller, starring Tom Everett Scott, Julie Delpy, Vince Valouf, and Julie Bowen.
Hated it.
Dude, at the time, I loved it, man, because I went to the movies with who I thought was a friend of mine at the time, Anderson Brungard. We had like 3 honeys from the high school that went with us. He was trying to talk to one of them, and the other one, man, she was bad as hell. I ain't gonna say her name. I'll tell you afterwards, but man, I wonder what she doing. But at the time, I thought that shit was top notch. But looking back on it, man, those CGIs, oh my God, I couldn't get around. Could not get around, man. And Tom Everett Scott is a weird looking dude, though, that fits this kind of role, just like in Dead Man on Campus.
Yeah. He looks good, sweaty and scared. So yeah, this is a perfect role for him. I feel like, this was part of a franchise, and there was one earlier called American Werewolf in London, I believe.
Right.
That one is quality. They had to make it like this relies on CG and stuff, and it doesn't look good.
Right.
The transformation sucked. The story's kind of like wacky as hell too, with like a
Yeah.
werewolf society, and like it's almost like a Blade situation where they get together, party, and try to like kill people. I don't know. But shout out to Tom Everett Scott, dude. Love him in Dead Man on Campus. Love him in Boiler Room. This was a miss. It's not his fault.
Yeah. It's about as good as that gets.
This proves the one thing, Steve, because I've always thought this, and movies like Hostel in the 2000s kind of taught me this. Don't go as an American out to Europe and start partying with chicks and go to weird party like raves and shit, because it's just going to get you killed. Or in this case, turned into a werewolf, Steve. And either way, I'm not into it.
And if the bitch tells you to run, run.
Run! If she sounds like that, you gotta go. And then the scene where she pulls her shirt up and she's just got a stomach full of fur, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm way in there. He just needed the pussy too bad, Steve. That's all it was.
Man, I love a 70s bush, but yeah, that's where I draw the line. But also in 1997, As Good as It Gets premieres. A single mother and waitress, a misanthropic author, and a gay artist form an unlikely friendship after the artist is assaulted in a robbery. Directed by James L. Brooks, starring Jack Nicholson, Helen Hunt, Greg Kinnear, Cuba Gooding Jr., Skeet Ulrich, and Shirley Knight.
It almost had Betty White in it too, Steve, but she said no. She said, I'm not doing this, but she missed out. I didn't like this movie. This was a mother and father favorite that I gruelingly had to try to get through as a kid. As an older man, I kind of dug it, man. It's fun to see Nicholson kind of. I mean, he's still Nicholson, I mean, he calls Kinnear the F-bomb at one point in this, and it's one of the. I made me spit my coffee out almost. So,
a bygone era.
Yeah, for sure. But it's just filled with like really good performances, and there's like some like people I don't even remember was in it. Yardley Smith is in it.
Lisa,
Brian Doyle Murray's in it. One of the Murrays is in this. Jamie Kennedy is in this. Steve, the ex Jamie Kennedy, and I don't know. It's a love movie. It's got some heart, and I'm a misanthropic asshole sometimes, Steve, so I can sympathize, and I like to see somebody like that win. and come around a little bit, you know.
You also have an affinity for small dogs
and hot buns, Steve.
There we go. That you like the glaze from time to time. But also in 1997, Jackie Brown premieres. A flight attendant with a criminal past gets nabbed by the ATF for smuggling. Under pressure to become an informant against the illegal arms dealer she works for, she must find a way to secure her future without getting killed. Directed by Quentin Tarantino, starring Pam Grier, Samuel L. Jackson, Robert Forster, Bridget Fonda, Michael Keaton, and Robert De Niro. I was in a rush to get to this.
I want to talk. We could do 80 shows about. We could do a whole podcast about this and never stop talking about how great this movie is, Steve.
Yes.
Personally, to keep it brief, because we got a lot to talk about today, here are the things that I will say about this movie. It's the best Tarantino movie, flat out, in quality, pace. It's the best. It's my favorite. And it means a lot to the show because I would never have looked at this movie had Steve not shown it to me and made me fall in love with it when we were young kids in Bromfield. We watched this on a tape. I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
It's one of the best. Everybody in it kills it. Everybody. And I will accept nobody telling me anything negative about it. If we have a chat, if I will find you and I will make sure, like in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, that we take care of the nonsense, Steve, and the bullshit. All right.
Shenanigans will not be had. I remember seeing this with my dad. Winter of 97, just right before the end of the year, and it was at that point I realized Samuel L., that's my goat, and I never looked back. If there was any role for him to get best leading man, an Oscar for that, this is the one.
The thing about this movie and with him, it never feels like you're watching somebody act. You know what I mean? It feels like he's being taped as some guy that exists in the world. It's just so natural. And this, he looks wacky as hell.
Yeah.
He's got an insane style, but man, every second he's on screen there's some badass. That scene when he's got Chris Tucker in the trunk, he finally talked him into getting in there, Beaumont, and he puts those gloves on, hits the radio. That's why I feel like this movie is Tarantino's best. He's a guy who I feel like people love that he combines music and visuals in like this really creative and like poetic way. And in this movie, it's not done overly. It's not done to like the detriment of the movie. Every time it happens, it's memorable and it's like makes so much sense that this guy made it. I'm just such a huge fan of the movie, Steve. And it has one of the most panty dropping soundtracks of all time. Yeah. I got laid because I had Jackie Brown soundtrack on in the car, Steve. It happened.
I gave my heart and soul to you, girl.
Didn't I do it, baby? Didn't we do it, baby?
Robert Forster, this is one of the many things I love about Quentin Tarantino. He throws old school guys a bone. Pause. But he saw Robert Forster at a restaurant. He was out of work for the longest, man. And he was like, look, man, read this script. And he just walked out. He's like, man, read this script. And Robert Forster was like, well, shit. He read the script, and here we are, man. Max Cherry.
And to speak to how much Quentin Tarantino knew that he was the best person for that role, De Niro wanted that role, asked to have that role. And he's like, sorry. Tarantino's like, can't do it.
To De Niro.
Yeah, to De Niro, who, I mean, we saw how many things in the 90s, he done his whole career. He's on top of the world right now. But his role in this is one of my favorite De Niro roles.
Same.
So he pulled it off. And I think this movie is it's a great caper movie. If you just want to watch that, it's a great love movie and like a tragic love story between these two older people who are kind of like at the same point of just, shit's not really kind of going in the way that they had dreamed their life is. And they're just like settling, Jackie and Max Cherry. And it's just like this crazy love story that's hidden in this caper movie too. I love it, dude.
It feels like a gun pressed up against my dick.
How many times do we say that in
comments? It won't stop saying it. See, I get high at night.
Man, yeah, I just thought she'd give you some pussy or something, man. I know Melanie. She's gonna be Melanie.
Yeah. Well, you couldn't just slap her?
Is she dead?
Is she dead? Hey, man. You better back off, man.
I love that De Niro gets pissed off. Like, there's a signature De Niro mad at a broad move where he's like, oh, fucking. It comes from a real place, I feel like, Steve.
Very method.
Oh, man. But yeah, dude, Jackie Brown will forever. It's my favorite movie on top of being my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie, which is saying something because he's made a lot of great movies that I love a lot, but Bait Club somebody that thinks otherwise because I got a lot of points.
And got a lot of punches. On that same day in 1997, The Postman premieres. A nameless drifter dons a postman uniform and bag of mail as he begins a quest to inspire hope to the survivors living in a post-apocalyptic America. Directed by Kevin Costner, starring Kevin Costner, Will Patton, Lawrence Tate, Olivia Williams, James Russo, Tom Petty, and Giovanni Ribisi. I always love saying that. Ribisi.
And Tom Petty, Steve. Tom Petty makes a cameo in this as well. I don't know if
you totally said that. I totally said it.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, I mean, here's my philosophy with Kevin Costner. Let him act, man. Guy can act his ass off. Don't let him be the
director,
director of anything. Because this movie is not. It's a great idea, premise, not pulled off well. And there's not a lot of Costner fronted movies where he's directing that I actually like, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I saw this was 3 hours damn near, and this is the one movie on the list I voluntarily decided to sit out. I started watching it and then I stopped watching it. As much as I love Lawrence Tate, Giovanni Ribisi, Kevin Costner's cool, but this is basically Mad Max mixed with Dances with Wolves. This is post-apocalyptic Dances with Wolves.
Yeah. There's no government. He kills a guy with a postman uniform, and that's all it is, basically. And then he's like, I'm a postman. The government exists. And then that's it for 3 hours, Steve.
Yeah. And
there's good war shit, but it's not I don't know. The villain in it's very good. He's a guy who I've seen a lot, and I don't remember his name. I think his name's Bethlehem in the movie, but yeah. But I don't know. This movie flopped, and I think it was a huge embarrassment for everybody involved in it. And there's a reason. It's just not that good. I mean, and didn't this come off the heels of Waterworld, Steve?
Yep.
So I mean, this guy was just tanking. I guess he just wanted to spend a lot of money.
And they just kept letting them direct. But also in 97, Wag the Dog premieres. Shortly before an election, a spin doctor and a Hollywood producer joined efforts to fabricate a war in order to cover up a presidential sex scandal. Directed by Barry Levinson, starring Dustin Hoffman, Robert De Niro, Anne Heche, Dennis Leary, Willie Nelson, Andrea Martin, and Kirsten Dunst.
I love this movie. I even loved this as a kid. I think I was always sort of conspiratorially directional. And this movie is it's fantastic. It's almost like it's happening right now, Steve. Strange.
Yeah, man. The premonitions. And Anne Heche, I feel like we've talked about her a couple of times recently. And, Dennis Leary, I could have done without, but yeah, somebody had to fill that role. But this is my first time seeing it. Dustin Hoffman, he did get nominated, as he should have been. And I was pleasantly surprised. It's kind of apprehensive about watching the movie.
Yeah, I mean it's a political thriller. So it's basically they have the FBI, which I think is what De Niro works for, but they're trying to cover up this thing with the president. So they hire this Hollywood dude who's Hoffman, and he's very Hollywood. He's tanning. He looks kind of like George Hamilton in it.
Robert Evans. I think that's who it was based off of.
Probably. That definitely tracks. But yeah, man, I love it. It's still very timely. And I love the idea in the end of this movie, because spoiler alert, obviously, Hoffman, he's at the end of this movie, he's like, hey man, like I want credit for this. Like I want people to know that I did this. And De Niro, who's like the G-man, and it's like, that's not how this works.
No, yeah.
You can't get credit for this. Like you did it. So good job. But they have to kill his ass because he's gonna tell everybody he was involved.
Yeah. And then eventually we find out that he eliminated himself. Basically, he got a heart attack, I think, and then he's out the game. He's out the paint. Yeah,
but great movie. I'm pretty sure people involved in the government now possibly have watched this as some sort of epiphany moment to how to get out of this Epstein thing. But yeah, dude. Another one where De Niro's kind of playing. He's not the De Niro that we know with he's not the gun-toting like thug, tough guy. He's more of like a chess guy. He's sort of playing everybody the pieces how they need to be played. It's interesting.
And that following year, 1998, a civil action premieres. At the risk of bankrupting his firm and career, lawyer John Schlitman takes on a case involving two companies responsible for causing children to be diagnosed with leukemia due to the town's contaminated water supply. Directed by Steven Zaillian, starring John Travolta, Robert Duvall, James Gandolfini, Dan Hedaya, John Lithgow, William H. Macy, Kathleen Quinlan, and Tony Shalhoub.
Lawyer gets caught up in. I mean, this almost like this Aaron Brockovich before Aaron Brockovich, Steve.
Based on a true story.
Travolta plays like this lawyer who gets involved in this lawsuit, tanks his whole life. I mean, it takes him from by the end, he has no money. He's put up all his money, he has nothing.
It's a very un-Travolta role too. So I got to give him props for that. He's kind of showing he can spread his wings, if you will.
And it's not over the top. I mean, he's playing a lawyer. It's very understated. And it's a good law movie. I watched it. I didn't have to turn it off. But yeah, man. There's really nothing more to say about it. It's Aaron Brockovich before Aaron Brockovich.
And even especially for a legal drama. I immediately I'm like, I'm hard pass, but I made it through, and I think something to say about the cast, man. That helped too, man. Robert Duvall, he did his thing. Of course, John Travolta, James Gandolfini, Dan Hedaya, who is a character actor who you've seen in different things. I always think about him in Cheers. He plays Carla's ex-husband. Every time he pops up, it's hilarious. I don't know, man. You cut out, so whatever you're saying, I don't know.
Sorry. I'm back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy how many stars that they're packing into these Christmas movies. Maybe it's because they are Christmas movies and they know people are going to come out, but I think that's what does elevate this. But from just being some sort of just a boring procedural movie to, it's got some heart to it.
And on that same day in 98, Down in the Delta premieres. In a desperate attempt to change her life, Loretta, a troubled single mother from a tough Chicago neighborhood, is sent to spend a summer at her family's ancestral home in rural Mississippi. Directed by Maya Angelou, starring Alfre Woodard, Al Freeman Jr., Esther Rolle, Mary Alice, Loretta Devine, and Wesley Snipes.
The Snipe Dog. I did not watch the full movie, Steve. But I will say Alfre Woodard, also another person who's getting paid in the 90s.
Alfre Woodard.
Sorry, I can't say it. But definitely she got paid.
Grand Canyon, the very first movie we mentioned. She was in that.
But I love seeing Snipes in this. I love, it's a good love movie. And we can all sort of sympathize with it's also sort of, I think it kind of speaks to me because of moving to a weird place and having to adjust to that. I went through that, but yeah, man, who directed this?
Maya Angelou. This is her only.
I was going to say, did Maya Angelou ever get to direct anything else? Because I find that pretty crazy that she directed a movie. Damn.
And this is Esther Rolle's final movie before she passed away, famously known as Florida Evans from Good Times. She plays the wife. She plays the wife of Al Freeman Jr.'s role, and she's got Alzheimer's, and it's setting in pretty bad. She's just lost her wits throughout this movie. And Alfre Woodard, her daughter, she has alcohol fetal syndrome or whatever. And that's because Alfre Woodard, she was out here in these streets, man, you know, doing drugs and just doing the most, man, wasn't doing right, wasn't being a good mother. Her mom was taking on the duties as the caretaker. And the mom, Mary Alice, man, she has just reached a boiling point where she's like, you know what, I'm going to send you back home to our roots, Mississippi. A lot of this hit home, man. You know, it's close and personal because I was raised by my grandmother, and Mary Alice, whenever I see her on anything, my grandmother is the first thing that comes to mind, man, because she actually kind of looks like her, the way she acted, you know, a lot of the things, man. She was big on education. She was in a different world where, you know, she was one of the professors. And, you know, I see a lot of my grandmother in Mary Alice as well as her roles. And, you know, great acting, man. Obviously, you got Wesley Snipes in it. He plays her cousin, and he went the right route. He went to college, got a good job, and he's coming back home to visit Mississippi. And, you know, it really was a coming of age movie. By the end, Alfre Woodard, man, she's doing better in life. You know, it's hopeful. It ends with a sense of hope.
Yeah. That's very cool, dude.
But yeah, man. On that same day in 98, The Faculty premieres. When Casey Connor, Harrington High School's newspaper photographer, witnesses the murder of a nurse and sees her alive again, he decides to investigate the bizarre happenings. Directed by Robert Rodriguez, starring Jordana Brewster, Clea Duvall, Laura Harris, Josh Hartnett, Sean Hatosi, Famke Janssen, Ursher Raymond, Robert Patrick, BB Newworth, Jon Stewart, and Elijah Wood.
Love this movie. Robert Rodriguez. Strange that he made this. You know, it's very un-Robert Rodriguez at the time. But yeah, lot to love. You get Elijah Wood, pre-Frodo. We get the goth chick that was goth and everything, who freaks me out. And then you get Jordana Brewster, Steve, who is like the prototypical just hottie of the 90s to me.
And we also get Mr. Kroger from Seinfeld. We just talked about him last week. Mr. Kroger, George's boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the.
Oh, yeah, he is.
He's one of the teachers, man. And ironically, that guy, he was from Ohio. He's from Cincinnati, where he was born, and like he died in Montgomery, Ohio. Sad story with that guy. His real name is Daniel Von Bargent, Mr. Kroger from Seinfeld, man. He ended up taking his own life. He was depressed. They reported his death, unspecified long illness, but he had, you know what? He shot himself in the temple in a suicide attempt. And I don't want to divert too far from the movie, man, but yeah, that was his story. And I did not expect this movie to be as great as it was. I had never seen it growing up. And I just saw Usher on it. I was like, man, they got Usher on it. This shit is some Tubi before Tubi. But no, man, he didn't even have that big of a role in it. Jon Stewart was in this, in a change of pace for him. Like, you know, I usually see him in some comedic stuff, but this was different, man. And then, dude, I don't know what it is, but BB Newworth just does it for me. I love her as Lilith. Maybe it's, but I love dark white girls, man. And I'm watching this. I was like, man, I would have fell for all of those baits that like every time. Damn, that woman is
of course. All the chicks in this at the time were, I was just like, except for the goth chick who freaked me out. Yeah. But yeah, dude. I feel like what this movie really to me is that it's like a modern retelling of that John Carpenter's The Thing, where you don't know who has this monster inside of them, and there's constantly like trying to figure that part of it out, and then it just turns into a great creature feature with like a crazy alien, a chase, and the special effects for the time were not terrible either. You know,
they weren't terrible. This was kind of like a modern The Thing, it done in a high school format, and the main chick who ends up being like the final boss monster. Like that was a swerve to me because, like I said, I never seen this before, man. And like we had already seen monsters kind of up to that point, but when she's in the gymnasium and she just revealed, like, whoa,
and they do it well too. Where it's like, I mean, this is a credit to Robert Rodriguez, where this movie could have been a big piece of crap, and he's that good, man. He made this thing in the late '90s where it still holds up. So I think that speaks to it. But it also, look at the people in it. You know, you get Elijah Wood, Josh Hartnett's no pushover, and the other people that other white guy who's sort of like in the back behind Usher in the poster. That guy's a huge name. Like he's in a lot of stuff too. So dug it. I saw this as a kid. I remember loving it. And I'm glad you liked it too, dude. Shout out to Robert Rodriguez.
And Robert Patrick, man. It was at T1000, T2000. Like he's a perfect guy for this, man. Like Robert Patrick knows how to do this kind of thing. I can't put a name on it, but
he's another guy, dude. Legend. And I think he had a little bit of trouble. It's good to see him back in the spotlight a little bit now in modern times. But yeah, he's great in this.
And on that same day in 98, Hurly Burly premieres. Hollywood movers and shakers dissect their own personal lives when everything seems to clash together. Directed by Anthony Drazen, starring Sean Penn, Kevin Spacey, Robin Wright, Penn, Chaz Palminteri, Gary Shandling, Anna Paquin, and Meg Ryan. Again with the Meg Ryan.
Hated it.
I hated this movie, Steve. I don't. This is the quintessential let's make a movie about Hollywood movie. And even Sean Penn couldn't save this, in my opinion.
With Kevin Spacey, 90s Kevin Spacey, you know, let's Chris Benoit him from this point.
He looks crazy as hell in the movie. He's got like blonde like tips.
It's Slim Shady ass Kevin Spacey.
I don't know. I tried. I really did. I was like, there's got to be some reason that this movie came out, or like it's got to be something, right? And it just isn't, you know?
Yeah, man. But it's unfortunate, man, because look at the cast. But on that same day in 98, Patch Adams premieres. The true story of the heroic hunter Patch Adams, who's determined to become a medical doctor because of his desire to help other people. He ventures where no doctor ever ventured before, utilizing humor and pathos. Directed by Tom Shadyac, starring Robin Williams, Monica Potter, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Bob Gunton, Daniel London, and Michael Jeter.
I mean, do you want to cry, Steve? Because that's what this movie makes me do.
Yeah,
it's good, man. This is just this is the quintessential Robin Williams in the '90s. Everybody loved this movie. I forgot about the aspect of it where he was in a mental institution, and that's how he kind of like found his calling. I forgot about that, but all the scenes with the kids. And just how, you know, Robin Williams getting to be Robin Williams in this movie in this very like heartfelt way, especially now because I'm a leukemia survivor, like seeing that part of it and adding that level of like emotion to it for me just makes it even better, honestly. And I do still enjoy watching this one, even though it is it's not a downer. It's just, you know, it tugs at the heartstrings.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what time of Christmas. If it's by the evening, yes, I want to cry now because I spent all that money and I'm almost sleepy. I'm somebody sleepy. I want to cry now.
But man, Robin Williams, dude, like it's just like I said with Danny Glover. This '90s Robin Williams before he started really going to the weird shit that he was doing in the aughts.
Oh man,
it's heartwarming, and there's just like he just nailed it, dude. The guy was a killer in that role, and just a funny guy, man. I miss Robin Williams, and rest in peace, dude. But this movie nailed it,
man. And ironically, Philip Seymour Hoffman, he passed away 6 months before Robin Williams, man. So R.I.P. to Robin Williams, Philip Seymour Hoffman, and Michael Jeter. Michael Jeter was the guy with the huge brillowy mustache.
Oh, okay.
Kind of got the Krusty the Clown haircut. Yeah. I like
that. That's a good description, Steve.
But that following year, finally, in 1999, Galaxy Quest premieres. The alumni cast of a space opera television series have to play their roles as the real thing when an alien race needs their help. However, they also have to defend both Earth and the alien race from a reptilian warlord. Directed by Dean Pariseau, starring Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver, Alan Rickman, Tony Shalhoub, Sam Rockwell, and Daryl Mitchell.
Banger.
Man.
Straight. I mean, this is a movie where even when I remember going to see this and being like, this movie's going to suck. Like, you know, I wasn't looking forward to it. Huge surprise.
Well, you know how I am with these Galaxy Star Trek Wars and stuff. I did not expect to like this, man. And I think that also speaks on the cast. Again, Sigourney Weaver, another one of my crushes ever since Ghostbusters. And, you know, it's got Alan Rickman, who plays like the punk ass. He always got an attitude like, I'm above this. I'm Shakespearean. I'm a thespian. You don't reduce me to just some TV role. Like, he's that guy. And Daryl Chill Mitchell, he actually got in an accident. I was trying to figure out if this was before his accident because he's handicapped now. He's been from the neck, not neck down, from the hip down, I guess, man. So shout out to Daryl Chill Mitchell. But yeah, great movie.
Sam Rockwell kills it too. He's funny. He's like a funny scumbag because this is like a spoof on Hollywood. And then like an intergalactic Star Wars movie, because that all this stuff that they did is actually real in some way. So that what I just said sounds stupid, Steve, but somehow they made a great movie out of it, you know? So like you said, mostly the actors, but I think the director, who isn't a familiar name, whoever that is, killed it too, because this movie really went above and beyond.
And there was some inspiration from real life, because William Shatner actually experienced one of those scenes where he's at one of those conventions and then he goes into the restroom and he overhears one of the fans saying like, man, these guys are really nobodies outside of this show. So that actually happened to William Shatner, man. And like it happened to Tim Allen in the movie. He goes to the restroom and he overhears one of the attendants of the convention just kind of shitting on the cast. But if you don't blink and you miss it, Rainn Wilson is one of the Martians. This was actually Rainn Wilson's first role.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, definitely forgot about that. There's a couple people in this that are blink and you miss it cameos, but yeah, man, filled with stars. Sigourney Weaver in this, dude. Like honestly, like this is one of the best. Like I would love this version of Sigourney Weaver just to show up one night and just, you know, have her way with me. But
a man can dream.
Man, God bless. Galaxy Quest, though. Like, it should have been a 2. It's a 4.
Out of 5. What's the rating?
Out of 5, Steve.
Out of 5, I was like, man, that's still not good. But damn, Sigourney, I like legs. And from how I gather her in other movies, she seems like she's tall for a woman.
Oh, yeah. Also, I just, like, she's got some bust to her in this movie, Steve. They know how to. They got something going on there where it's just hitting all the right. It's hitting all the right notes. It's a symphony, Steve. Oh. It's a symphony.
Yeah, thank God for you, Sigourney. Yeah, thank God.
God bless you.
God bless you and yours. Merry Christmas to you and yours, Sigourney. I love you. But Matthew, any callbacks for the year?
For the year.
This is the season finale of season 5.
I mean, it's just been a roller coaster, Steve. Season 5, we're getting better and better, I feel like. So, one, I just got to give a lot of flowers to you. Steve's integral to this show. Steve is the man. Steve is one of my best friends, and it has been an honor to do this show. It's crazy we've been doing it this long now.
It doesn't seem that long.
It doesn't really seem that long, but that's because it's so much fun to do. So if we're just talking that, like, this show is one of the best things that I get to do in my life, and I love doing it. So, and I get to hang out with one of my best buddies. It's an honor. It's a privilege. Merry Christmas, everybody. It's been a good one.
Yes, man. Like it really has. And also I got to do some cover your ass shit. A lifelong feud between two senior citizens only gets worse when a sexy new female neighbor moves in across the street. Got that out the way, but likewise, man, everything you said, ditto. Like, this show has had its ups and downs. It's really been a roller coaster. There was a point where I thought we were going to lose all of our social media following after years of building it up. Man, that was a movie within itself. So again, Shaquan and Farajaka. If you're watching either anonymously on your incognito tab, fuck you. I don't wish you happy holidays, but you know what? Off of them, but fuck you. I gotta mention that as much as I can. Back to good stuff. Yes, man. Dude, thank you, Matt, man. I've said this before. I don't know of any other person that could pull off this better than you can, man, because of our history, saying and talking about these things actually in the 90s, and watching these things, talking about this shit from the back of the class, back of the school bus, and in our dorm rooms even. So I also want to say, man, thank you for the new followers, the people who've been rocking with us this whole time from day one. I also want to give a shout out to, I hope I'm saying his name right, John Nemeth. I've been wanting to do this for a while, man, but this is perfect time, man. Merry Christmas to you and yours, man, because you've been very loyal to our show, man. You throw us a DM from time to time, and he's like, hey, man, I just saw the new episode, just really giving us props, man, just showing us love, man. John Nemeth out in Philadelphia, man. Please continue to love, man. Please continue to spread the word. And again, I can't say thank you enough, but season 5, man, we're heading into season 6, man. Just next week, we'll be in season 6.
Who could have thought, Steve? From the lowly season 1 days where we're just 2020 came. It was 2020.
2021.
It's a terrible year. 2021. We're coming out of a terrible year. Still in a terrible year. Look at us now, Steve.
Dude, we started a day after the riots.
Yeah, spiritually it wasn't a lot of good happening, and we just needed to bring that to the world, and now we're just continuing that. So it's wild that it's been that long, but it's that the fact that it doesn't feel like it's been that long means something, because we're just having a really good time doing it,
Definitely, man. And thank you for being along for the ride. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Please tell your sister that I'll be a huckleberry. Check out Food Show Fanatics as well as Crushjasm every Wednesday with Kendra G, our guy Clark the Shark on Podcastle, and Wrestling with Ronzilla on TikTok. This is Steve G and Mad G with Happening in
the 90s. La 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 la. Love it.